Hello and welcome to another Let's Draw tutorial with Procreate. This is the illustration we'll be completing today. And as always, I've provided a brush pack and colour palette for you to download. I've also included the image of the disco ball and also the font that we're going to use. The canvas size is 2000 pixels by 2000 pixels at 300 dpi. And if you don't already know, I have a Patreon account where I post 3 exclusive Procreate tutorials a month. So please do come and check that out. I'll leave the link to all of my socials in the description below, so you'll find it there. And you can also enjoy a 7-day free trial. So please do take advantage of that. And with all that said, and when you're ready, let's draw. Once we've created our canvas, the first thing we're going to want to do is change the colour of our background. So let's head over to our layers menu by tapping on the 2 squares. We're going to go over to background colour and select the first colour, and then tap on the 2 squares to come out of that menu. We now want to import the image of our disco ball. So let's head over to our wrench icon. We need to be on add, and it does depend on where you saved the image. If you saved it as a photo, then you'll need to select insert a photo and then select it from your gallery. If, like me, you saved it as a file, we need to tap on insert a file. I saved mine to my iPad, and then we're going to scroll on down until we find the disco ball, and we're going to tap on it. Now that will import over onto layer 1. Now I do just want to adjust the sharpness and the hue, saturation and brightness of our disco ball. So let's go over to our magic wand tool. Let's go to sharpen first, and we're going to slide our pencil from left to right until we get to, let's say, around the 50% mark, and then tap on the magic wand tool when we're done. We're going to tap on it again. This time we're going to go to hue, saturation and brightness. I'm going to reduce the brightness down to roughly around 48%. The saturation, we can bring that right up to max. And the hue, I'm going to bring that down to, let's say, 40%. And then tap on the magic wand tool when we're done. We're now going to go over to our arrow tool. With uniform selected, I'm just going to grab this green node here and just rotate it ever so slightly. And then scoot it on over to the left for a moment. Then going to go back to our layers. We're going to slide this layer to left and duplicate it. Go to the bottom one, go to our arrow tool, again with uniform. This time we can pop magnetics on, and we're going to flip this horizontal, and then we're going to drag this on over to the right hand side to sit roughly about here, and then tap on the arrow when we're done. Now I do just want to add a bit of a shadow on this disco ball here on the right. So let's go over to our layers, tap the plus sign, tap on this layer and clip and mask it. We're going to tap on the N and scroll up to multiply. And then going to switch out our colour to the second colour. We're going to go over to our brushes and just make sure we're on the soft brush. We've got the opacity here set to 100%, and the size, let's make that, let's say, around 5%. And I'm just going to pinch with 2 fingers and zoom in ever so slightly. And we're going to add in a shadow here. I'm just going back and forth using light pressure. We're going to go over to our magic wand tool, Gaussian blur, and let's just blend that in with, let's say, a 8% blur, and then tap on the magic wand tool. Let's go back to our layers. We're going to tap on that M, and I'm just going to reduce the opacity down to, let's say, 85%, and then tap on that layer to come out of that menu. We can actually pinch those 2 layers together. Now we're going to slide to the right to select both of the disco balls, and I'm going to zoom out ever so slightly here. We're going to go over to our arrow tool with uniform and snapping turned on this time. We're going to move it on over so it's sitting in the vertical centre. And I'm going to move it down ever so slightly. We're then going to go over to our layers, tap on that bottom layer 1, tap the plus sign, drag this underneath. We're going to go over to our colours. We're going to select the last colour. We're going to switch out our brush to the monoline smooth. I've got the opacity set to 100% and the size is set to 50%. So let's add in our stem by drawing in an arc here, and I'm holding my pencil in place to snap to the quick shape. We can go to edit arc. I'm just going to move it on over so it's sitting somewhat in the centre of our disco ball. Then we can tap on the brush to come out of that menu. We're going to go back to our layers. We're going to tap the plus sign for a new layer. And we're going to add in another arc here as well. And I'm holding my pencil in place to snap to the quick shape. We're then going to go over to our magic wand tool. We're going to go to liquify. I've got it in expand. I've got distortion and momentum set to none. Pressure set to max. And the size is set to 20%. And I'm just going to zoom in here ever so slightly. And I'm going to tap and hold here to expand that top edge of our stem. And then tap on the magic wand tool when we're done. Now let's add in some shadows. Let's go over to our layers menu, tap the plus sign for a new layer. We're going to tap on this layer and we're going to clip and mask it. We're going to tap on the N and scroll up to multiply. We're going to switch out our colour now to the second colour. We're going to go over to our brushes and we're going to make sure we're on the soft brush now. I've got the opacity set to 100% and the size is set to, let's say, 5%. Let's just add in a bit of a shadow here at the bottom edge and just roll that round up to the top, and maybe reduce that size down to 3% and just add in a bit of a shadow here as well. We can then go over to our magic wand tool, Gaussian blur, and slide our pencil from left to right until we get to around 2%, and then tap on the magic wand tool when we're done. We're then going to go over to our layers. We're going to tap the plus sign for a new layer. We're going to tap on this layer and we're going to clip and mask it. We're going to tap on the N and scroll down to add. We're going to switch out our colour now to that last colour. And I'm going to bring the brush size down to, let's say, a large 2%. And I'm just going to add in a bit of a highlight here at the top edge of the stem. And again, we can go to the magic wand tool, Gaussian blur, and just pop in a 2% blur there. And then tap the magic wand tool when we're done. We're going to go over to our layers. We're going to go back to layer 3 now, tap the plus sign for a new layer. We're going to tap on this layer and clip and mask it. We're going to tap on the N, scroll up to multiply. We're going to switch out our colour to that second colour. Let's bring the soft brush back up to, let's say, 5% again, and start adding in the shadow here as well. Bring that brush size down to 3%, and then just add in on this underside and then slightly here at the top as well. And again, let's go over to our magic wand tool, Gaussian blur, and we can slide our pencil from left to right until we get to 2%, and then tap on the magic wand tool when we're done. Let's go back to our layers, tap the plus sign for a new layer, tap on this layer and clip and mask it, tap on the N, scroll down to add, switch out our colour now to that last colour, and then we're going to add in a bit of a highlight here on the left hand side, ever so slightly, like so. Now if you're happy with how everything's looking so far, we can go back to our layers and start pinching these layers together. So I'm going to pinch the stem layers together, and then we can pinch them together with the disco ball as well. And we're ready now to add in our text. So let's head over to our wrench icon. We need to be on add, and we're going to select add text. I'm just going to bring this box down ever so slightly, and we're going to type in party. And if we double tap on our word, this box will pop up. And I'm just going to change the font to Mini Garden. So I'm going to scroll all the way down until we find Mini Garden font. I'm going to leave these settings as is. Just going to go over to our arrow tool. I'm going to grab this green node and rotate it, and then we're going to pop it roughly about here. We're then going to go over to our layers, slide to left and duplicate it. Go to the bottom one. We're going to go over to our arrow tool. We're going to move that on over and then rotate this one as well. Tap on the arrow when we're done. We need to double tap on our word, and then we're going to type in time. Go over to our arrow tool, and then maybe just move it a little bit closer, like so. Let's go back to our layers. We're going to slide the time layer to left and duplicate it. We're going to go to the bottom one. We're going to go over to our arrow tool with uniform and magnetics turned on this time. We're going to drag this on over to the right hand side. We're going to tap on the arrow when we're done. We're going to double tap on our word, and we're going to type in NYE. Go over to our arrow tool. We can actually turn magnetics off here for a moment. Grab this green node and rotate it, and then maybe move it just about here. Let's go back to our layers. We're going to slide this layer to left and duplicate it. Go to the bottom one, go to our arrow tool, and we're going to move this one down and rotate it to sit here. Tap on the arrow when we're done. We're going to double tap on our word and we are going to type in 2024. Go over to our arrow tool and then just positioning it so it sits roughly about here. And then tap on the arrow when we're done. So now we should have something that looks like this. Let's go back to our layers and we can pinch all of these 4 layers together. We're going to go over to our magic wand tool. We're going to go over to bloom. We're going to slide our pencil from left to right until we get to 100%. I'm going to increase the burn here to about, let's say, 50%. And then we can reduce the size down to, let's say, around the 22% mark. And then tap on the magic wand tool when we're done. Let's go back to our layers and we can actually pinch these 2 layers together. So now we should have something that's looking a bit like this. We're going to go over to our arrow tool with uniform selected and let's pop on snapping again. We'll make it a little bit smaller and then pop it into the vertical center of our canvas and position it roughly about here. And let's go back to our layers. We're going to slide to left and duplicate it. We're going to go to the bottom one. We're going to go over to our arrow tool. We're going to flip this vertical and we're going to pop on magnetics and we're going to drag this on down, and we do want to have a little bit of a gap in between those 2 layers. And then we can tap on the arrow when we're done. We're going to go over to our layers, tap on the N, and we're going to reduce that opacity down to, let's say, 70%. We're going to go over to our magic wand tool, Gaussian blur, and we're going to add in a, let's say, 2% blur. Tap on the magic wand tool when we're done. And while we're on the soft brush, we're going to tap and hold on the eraser so it will switch to the soft brush. Got the opacity set to 100% and the size is set to, let's say, around 25%. And we're going to start erasing this bottom edge like so. And if we go over to our S-shaped ribbon with rectangle and colour fill turned off, I'm just going to make a selection here. Go to my arrow tool and then just drag that off the canvas. And then I'm going to go over to our layers. We're going to slide to the left on that top layer 3, go to our arrow tool with uniform and snapping turned on. We're going to move this on over so it's sitting in the center of our canvas. So you need to move it around until you see those orange crosshairs and then tap on the arrow when you're done. And if I pinch with 2 fingers and go full screen with 4, that's today's tutorial complete. Thank you so much for following till the end. I hope you had fun with this tutorial. Please do come and share your finished artworks with me over on Instagram, as I really love seeing them, and I'll give you a shout out to my stories as well. Thank you so much for the love and support you've shown me throughout the year. It really does mean a lot. And with all that said, Happy New Year, stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.